Hey everyone, welcome to Does It Hold Up Box Office Edition, where we talk about what happened at the box office over this past weekend. This is going to be a short episode this week as I'm still recovering from nasal surgery that I just had in the last couple of days, but I wanted to make sure that for those of you who do watch this show, I got something out this week. As always, we're going to start with that top 10 at the box office. In its second week, taking first place again is Five Nights at Freddy's with another $19 million. But it did fall 76% from its first to second weekend, which is a really big drop. That's usually things we see reserved for superhero films and really big explosive debuts. When it opened at 80 million, it was higher than expected, but this is not a drop they wanted to see. In second place is Taylor Swift The Eras Tour in its fourth week with another 13.6 million, only a 12% drop. She's actually doing really well and has taken in a ton of money so far. In its third week is Killers of the Flower Moon with another 6.8 million, a 26% drop, 52.2 million. This is a rather disappointing movie. In fourth place, new to this list, is Priscilla with just over $5 million, but it did open in limited release last weekend, so it does have a running total right now of 5.3 million. In fifth place is another new movie, Radical, with $2.6 million. In sixth place is The Exorcist Believer in its fifth week with another $2.1 million, a 35% drop, but it's taken in $63 million so far. It's not doing that bad. In seventh place is Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie in its sixth week with just over $2 million and only a 13% drop. Really strong hold. I know it's in its sixth week, so holds don't really matter, but anytime you can only drop 13%, that's a victory. In eighth place in just its second week is After Death with $2,002,000, a 60% drop. We talked about this last week. It's not going to come anywhere close to meeting the total that Sound of Freedom did earlier this year. In ninth place is new to the list. It's What Happens Later, a new Meg Ryan rom-com? Not something I knew we needed in 2023, and I guess a lot of other people didn't know either. It only took in $1.5 million, and that's about all it's going to make. And in 10th place in its second week is Freelance with $1.2 million, a 41% drop. It's taken in just over $4 million total so far, and let's be honest, that's not great. This one's probably going to hit streaming sooner rather than later. Movies out of the top 10 this week are Nightmare Before Christmas after just 2 weeks with this initial re-release, Saw X after 5 weeks, and The Creator also after 5 weeks. So Five Nights at Freddy's opens much higher than expected, but has a massive drop-off in its second weekend. So it got me wondering, is that the highest drop we've seen in a second weekend so far in 2023? We've seen a lot of big drops, but is this the biggest drop? So let's take a look at the 5 biggest second weekend drops of 2023. In first place is a movie called Left Behind: Rise of the Antichrist, which came out all the way in January. In its second week, it had a 92.2% drop. In second place, Five Nights at Freddy's with 76.2% drop in its second week. That's not a good sign. We talked about this last week with it being a day and date with Peacock Plus. That probably hurt its second weekend. All the fans who wanted to go see it went and saw it the first weekend. Any buzz it had, people who weren't fans of the movie or fans of the game probably just stayed home and watched it. Even though others were saying it was good, they had the opportunity to just stay home, sit on their couch and watch it, and they definitely took advantage of that. In third place is Mafia Mama with 74.7% drop in its second week. Does anyone even remember this movie? It stars Toni Collette as a woman who has to take over the mafia after she inherits it. I didn't know you can inherit the mob, but I guess you can. Nobody cared though. In fourth place is The Flash, which was talked about all the time when it came out, with 72.5% in its second weekend. Huge drop. And in fifth place, a movie that just came out in September, It Lives Inside, a small horror movie that had a 71.8% drop in its second week. So Five Nights at Freddy's is not in good company here. These are all movies that were big failures and were not critically received well. In fact, most fans didn't even care about these movies when they came out. Luckily for Five Nights at Freddy's, it does cater to the gaming fan base that the movie was made for. They seem to really enjoy it, so this is probably going to have, I hope anyway, some legs so that these fans can actually go and see it. We're going to round up this episode with what we always do. What's coming new this weekend? First up is the biggest movie that's going to be happening this weekend, expected to make a bunch of money. It's The Marvels. It's probably going to open up to somewhere around $100 million. It's the newest MCU movie where Carol Danvers, Monica Rambeau, and Kamala Khan realize their powers are entangled, and it puts each one of them in danger. And it all happens at the worst time, because the newest big bad is currently attacking Danvers and trying to, blow up worlds and have a big catastrophic event. This one stars Brie Larson, Tiana Paris, Iman Vellani, Samuel L. Jackson, and Zawe Ashton. It's directed by Nia DaCosta, rated PG-13, coming out this Friday. Another one hitting theaters this Friday, but in limited release, is Dream Scenario. This is the story of a man who finds himself at the center of the world when millions of people start seeing him in their dreams. He has to navigate this new fame as this dream scenario takes on a nightmarish turn. Sounds really interesting. And it stars Nick Cage, Lily Bird, and Juliana Nicholson. It's rated R, and again, limited release this Friday. The last one that I'm talking about is The Killer, a movie about an assassin who goes on an international manhunt that he swears isn't personal, although we know it's going to end up being personal. He has to battle his employers and himself to survive. It stars Michael Fassbender, Tilda Swinton, and Charles Parnell. It's directed by David Fincher, who hasn't had a movie since Mank, and it's rated R. It's actually not coming to theaters, though. It's going straight to Netflix this Friday, so you'll be able to watch it from the comfort of your own home. We will have a review up for The Marvels this weekend. Try to get a review out for one of these other movies as well, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that. In the meantime, you can click the video on the screen to see other things that we've done, and I'll be back next week with another box office roundup. Until then, be good to yourself, be kind to others, and keep watching movies.